Hello everyone. We had to cut it short yesterday, but I'm going to go ahead and finish up the wraps for this guy's arms. I'm going to show you the method that I would use for them. It's going to be a combination of dirty modeling and some retopo. Yesterday's stream is available in the past broadcast. Unfortunately, we didn't realize about the royalty-free music, and so you can watch it, but there's no audio with it. So today we're trying out some royalty-free music and see how it works. All right. So we're going to be doing these wraps here that are on his arms. And here's the arm that we did yesterday. So as I mentioned, we're going to do like a rough sculpt over this just to kind of get the wrap started. Then we're going to retopo them to make them a little bit nicer, and then we'll sculpt on the wraps themselves. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this mesh because I want to maintain a clean version of it. And I'm just going to come in with the clay tubes and just start roughening in shapes here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We have a OMNOMer in the chat room who will answer some questions. For the most part, I'm just going to kind of work, and if I do something I think you might need information about, I'll mention it, but if you have specific questions, feel free to ask. I will deviate a little bit from the concept. The concept has a bit of a repetitive wrap. I kind of want to get some crisscrossing just for some visual interest. So I'm going to pretend like this wrap is going to actually go underneath this wrap here. And I'm just going to focus on one side first, and then I can connect the dots in the back here. Alright, so for this one here, in the concept, this actually pulls away from the arm. So I'm going to make some adjustments to the geo. also kind of want to make them a bit thicker here. Okay, that one's gonna go over. This one's gonna come over here. I'm just kind of looking at, the one thing I want to make sure I don't do is just a simple wrap that just goes around, because if this is a single wrap that's been wrapped around the arm, there's got to be an overlap here somewhere. So we will do that. We'll do that right here. So now that travels around the hand, between the thumb and the forefinger, and then back underneath. And then we'll start another one here. And again, we're just trying to get enough information to retopo and generate these things here. I'm just using a lazy mouse just to kind of have a little bit more control over this. Okay, so as I mentioned, I'm just doing a rough sculpt to retopo, so I don't need to take it too far, just enough to make sure my wraps are going to be flowing around the way I want them. Alright, that should be enough information. Now we're going to be able to do some additional editing in Max once I get this over there. Alright, so I am going to decimate this real quick. No, that should be fine. Okay. And it just gave me a lower res version of the mesh to take over in the 3D coat. So we're just going to export it. And 3D coat. To import this, I'm just going to go to File, Import, Reference Mesh. Grab those hands. And then we'll go to Retopo. And I'm just going to... I think I'm just going to start with some strokes here. I'm just quickly generating some geo to work with. And this doesn't have to be exact. The other thing I'm doing is I just need strips. I don't need the actual thickness at all. We'll create that in Max. I'm really just trying to get the direction that they're going, so I don't have to worry about finishing. Okay, that should be good enough. And I'm just gonna massage some of these that maybe fix a little bit of the edge distance. A little inconsistent right now. Alright, that's good enough. Alright, so we're just going to export that. Then we'll jump over here and max. Alright, so we have this really quick base mesh here to work with. What I'm going to end up doing is adding a shell modifier to just kind of get it some geo, but I need to do a little bit of editing before then, so I'm just going to jump down here, start moving some of this stuff. Because I want some of these to be above and some of these to be below each other. I'm also going to look for areas where it gets a little thinner, and I'll just pull that out a bit.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, won't you let the light shine through. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby.
And I could spend a lot of time actually trying to connect this entire thing to be an actual wrap, but honestly you just need the appearance of wrap, so this will probably be made up into, looks like 3 pieces. Okay, about there.
Pull my heart out of my chest, train my mind so I forget. Sink your teeth into my bones, dig me out, then fill the hole. Tear me apart, and watch it burn. Tear me apart, and watch it burn. All that's left is a window to my soul. Come and get it. Come and get it.
Okay, so looks like the edges are about the same length. They don't have to be exact. So now what I do is I'm just going to thicken them up.
Mouth to mouth, I breathe you in. Swallow down your jagged sin. Let it drown inside my veins. The sweetest poison I could take. You make it an art, the way that you scar with every word. But before we reach the end, strip me down again. Come and get it one more time. If you wanna lose your mind, come and get it one more time. If you wanna lose your mind, come and get it.
Okay, so then the last thing I'm going to do here, got my shell set, and that'll be close enough. I'm actually going to do select interfaces, and I'll select the inside faces here. So when I convert this back to edit poly, I can outline it, and we're just going to swell it up. Because what we want is to be able to look at it from any direction and be able to see both sides of the edge. So we want the interior faces to be wider than the exterior faces. That should work. Okay, then I'm going to set my smoothing groups. Set everything to 1 at first, and then I'm just going to select this ring here. Make that 2. And then I just need to find the end cap. Make that 3. Okay, so if we were to subdivide this, I'm just going to turn on the NURM subdivision. You'll see how it subdivides, but it gets kind of mushy, like it bends around the corners. we want the corners to stay pretty stiff, so by doing the smoothing groups, we just turn on smoothing groups and I'll maintain our shape a little bit better. And I'm going to, let's go ahead and just add a division in the middle. And then when we divided that actually selected that interior edge, and we're just going to do a little scale on it real quick. Now our wraps have a little bit of shape to it instead of it being flat. And I think I'm going to just do a let's just do 2 subdivision levels, and we'll just go Z that over into max. Okay, so here's our wraps. Turn on polyframe. I subdivided it in max so that I can have a little bit more personally have a little bit more control over how it divides. Now that I have it over here, we can reconstruct the lower subdivisions to get back to our low res. And then I'm going to do the last bit of subdividing here, and you'll see that it'll soften these corners a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go back to, we don't need this mesh anymore, so we'll delete it. And then we'll append our new wrap here. Okay. And now it's real easy to just come in here, lower subdivision, and just kind of make adjustments as needed. Notice I'm using the Move Topological brush. It allows me to do movements. See, I'm able to move this without really messing with this piece, even though they're very close proximity to each other. I love having things that overlap on other pieces here, so I'm just going to get those to move on top of each other a little bit better. Okay, this one's a little tricky. I want this piece to actually be below this other piece. And so since we have such a limited poly budget, the little gaps like, even though I do want this to separate from the arm here, little gaps like this just won't work. So we're just going to close those gaps a little bit. Again, let's make this piece look like it's on top of the other piece. Alright, that should be good enough here. That looks a little awkward there. Let me just fix that. I also kind of want to maintain a little bit of a wedge into the wrist. So I want to make sure, even though this is the big loose section, I just want to make it flare out a little bit more. Alright, that should be good. Okay, since these are 3 separate pieces, I can create polygroups. Which will help us a little bit. Allow us to isolate sections. Now what I like to do is just using the standard brush, and we're going to turn on lazy under strokes. Lazy, and we're going to bring the lazy radius up, and we're going to bring the lazy steps down. That'll just give us a little bit longer stroke, and it makes sure that the that it's closer together as well. And I'm just going to lay in some wrinkles real quick. And I don't want them super deep. I just want a little bit of tension. And then I'm just going to smooth it out. There'll be more tension where it overlaps. And then I like to crisscross on these long steps instead of just doing one that it runs with. I like to switch over. The other thing I like to think about is areas that bend a lot are more likely to have more wrinkles than other areas. So anywhere like this wrist area, I'll probably bunch up several wrinkles here. Again, this is the wrist area, so I'm going to make sure there's a lot of wrinkles right there. I don't actually think anybody's ever going to look inside here, but there is going to be a gap. So I'm just going to add a little bit of detail on the inside. Alright, now to add damage. One thing I like to do is I like to look for areas that are overlapping, and I like to add the damage right there. Just by doing that little thing, it makes it even, it feels, there's more depth, and it makes it feel like this stuff is truly on top of each other just by adding these little damage pieces there. So I'll look for other opportunities to do that. Here's another one. Okay, so I would like to be able to easily select this wrap, even though this is one contiguous piece, be able to get to this stuff under here fairly easily. And I could spend a lot of time going through and doing this to be able to do that, but there's something that you can do for your poly groups. It's just simply throw this back over and go Z this back over to max. Let me save this real quick before we go any further. So we're going to go Z this back over to max. And I'm going to UV this real quick. And the UVs do not have to be good at all. All I'm doing is really trying to get some of these sections separated. Just areas where I think I might be adding damage. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to switch over to max. So yeah, you guys have just missed every bit of that. Alright, so what I'm doing is UVs right now. And I'm just breaking up sections of the UVs. Basically, I'm making real quick UV clusters. All you have to do is make sure that your UVs are in just clumps. They don't have to be perfectly laid out or anything like that. So, and I'm sorry, but the way this is set up, it's not actually showing my edit UV window. But basically I've got, if I select some of these, I've got these as clusters, and they're just have a planar map on them. They're not relaxed or anything, and it's just these pieces here. Okay, so now that I have these UV clusters, I can hit Go Z again and go back over into ZBrush, and I'll flip that on. And it's going to apply those UVs to the mesh that I've already been sculpting on. So now I can come over to, and I'll just turn this on. These are the poly groups that we created earlier. But I can come over here to poly groups and group UV groups, or auto, I believe it's auto groups with UVs. There we go. So now it's going to create poly groups based on the UV clusters that I created earlier. So, getting back to this, we're going to apply the damage to this section here, and now I can hide the piece underneath it and make my little edit, little damage piece. And unlike this other one that I did, I'm not digging into the piece that's underneath. So I'm just going to do a couple more of these round ones, just because I dig them. Okay, I think we're going to do one more right here. Oops. Alright, and I think we need something on up here. Alright, so now we're going to add a few sharper cuts, just to flip back over to the concept that Avery did for us. We have some of these straighter cuts that are in here. So for some of those bigger ones, I'm going to start with my clay tubes. Just kind of dig in real fast. Then I'm going to go into my dam standard. Just kind of make it a little sharper. Oh, I still have my laser turned on. That's I don't know what was wrong. So here's the case. This wrap here, if I'm going to do this damage here, I like to show that this wrap's been replaced for a while. So I'm going to reflect that same damage right here as if it skipped. It hit this and skipped over to this piece. One thing you want to avoid though is ever going all the way across, because now you've just completely destroyed the structural integrity of that wrap. Like, how is that wrap even staying together now? And if you ever do a piece that's just fighting your geo too much, you have to ask yourself, is it really important to have that there? Because it's always better to have the cuts go along with your geo. If it's just not going to work out, then just don't do it. Although a round piece typically will work, so we're going to do a round piece of damage. And if you can never get your cuts to go with the poly flow, it's always going to look a little better. Alright, I think that this is pretty close to being good enough. Alright, so there's an old pair of wraps. Now the last thing, again, this may or may not work, but I always like to look at clay polish on this stuff. I mean, this is going to be stylized, and this typically will crisp everything up. So now we have these like sharper shapes going on with the wrinkles. I think I do want to do that, but I'm going to add a little bit There we go. And there are the wraps. Okay, well that is it for now. We are going to see about streaming the retopo phase and then maybe some of the texturing. Thank you guys for watching. And hopefully this will show up in the past broadcasts with audio this time, since we did the royalty-free music. Thank you.